Jaguars. Finish strong. Trust your landing.
Along with the Hall of Famer Carolyn Doran Ballard.
This is an opportunity, in my opinion, for LSU. They have a lead. They're very good on bars. If they can stick some landings and hit some handstands, chance to extend this lead, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if someone's going to do it, it's Lexi. The skill coming up right here, this pirouette, she did this right on top of the bar in the warm-up. She held it. Exactly what the judges are looking for, but this past handstand, the tightness of her body is exactly what they're looking for. Need the stick. Great start.
We saw an outstanding ball from Kaylin Chio in the first rotation. Now here she is on bars.
Kaylin does a good job taking it one skill at a time.
What do you think the keys are today?
Stuff landing, that's what they want to see. Kaylin has been so huge for this team. It's really hard to believe she's a freshman.
Judges are sharpening those pencils. We have a tie meet.
Tied. Okay, let's not get tight. If a judge takes our momentum away from it, we didn't own it anyway.
Very busy
okay, don't worry about
the course
that.
Of
let's
this
keep the pedal to the metal. You're still in great shape.
Earlier in the semifinals,
let's go.
And then
here's Sierra Ballard, one of the best starters in the country on balancing.
This leadoff spot on beam is arguably the most important spot in the entire competition. It's a new dismount for Sierra. Used to do a round off 1.5, added an extra half twist to this, said it is a lot harder than it looks, a lot more endurance required. Sierra takes so much pride in going first, and that's exactly why.
And absolutely delivered there.
All right.
The crowd is going crazy because Sierra Ballard in the lead-off spot. A 9.95, which is a career high score for her. The Sooners have been put on notice. Tigers are coming.
Connor McLean and Kaylin Chio each score a 9.925. The Sooners' exceptional floor routine gives them a slight advantage heading into the final rotation.
They anchor the senior Jalen Rogers.
Just go have a blast. Go crush these floor routines. Okay? Go big, go aggressive, show them off. Have fun. Let's go. Let's finish this thing strong.
They are absolutely rolling here.
Has been an impressive.
And here's Amari Drayton.
Double layout is ginormous. That was perfection.
He's done an outstanding job of this team.
It looks like this meet might be slipping away from the Sooners.
Fantastic. That's what you've done all year. That's what you've done all year. You pick a great time to do it.
The Tigers are in control as Aaliyah Finnegan takes to the floor.
There's a look at the Panthers lineup.
Aaliyah Finnegan with a 9-7 or better will clinch the meet for the LSU Tigers. It's going to come down to this next pass, a 2.5 twist punch front. Keeps it in bounds. LSU is going to get the big win.
The fans here in attendance.
I was going to say that timing looked really good to me. I think just ran a little bit too hard for it. I still think it's going to be over 9-7. It was beautiful, just that step out of bounds.
It was gorgeous. The whole routine was gorgeous. This is 100% in your head. You're going to have to grit your teeth and set your jaw and not let it happen. You're the most fantastically talented kid in the room. You just got to believe it.
With a
I'm on your side.
in game one.
Just believe it, okay? Let it go. Let it go and move on. But let's get back. Let's get back at it. Because we're going to go as you go. You're a leader.
Aaliyah Finnegan, 9-8, and they will get the win. What a competition. This a victory lap for Haley. And I'll tell you what, there's over 13,000 fans that are going to absolutely love this.
This skill is something that most gymnasts in the entire world, even the Olympic level, cannot do. And then watch the way that she lands with so much control. That front foot does not move.
Right now, it's LSU that is the best team in the country. On the floor with the Sooners, they get the win.
So proud of you. Love you so much. Go hug your teammate now. That's how you honor your teammate right there.
The spare there.
Bring it in.
Southern able to take
Great
the early
fight.
lead here.
We weren't perfect.
And one of the things we talked
Well, we did what we said we were going to do. And for the most part, we had a good time tonight. Sucks what happened to Chase, but you guys honored her with what you did. That's important.
Great teams are always great when they have to be. The Tigers reached down to the well of super effort to rally against one of the nation's best. With the postseason up next, LSU was locked and loaded,
they bond together, they get
ready to repeat as champions.
It's amazing what just, one good game, hey, we won, second good game. I've seen them do it all year, and they're in the middle of the pack. They're making their way up. They have come a long way in the last 3 or 4 years.
Naomi Smith.
From Taylor Stadium in Columbia, Missouri, it's the finale of a 3-game set between Ole Miss and Mizzou. The 18th ranked Rebels going for the sweep. Missouri seeks its first SEC win of the season. Anish Shroff, Lance Cormier, and Lance, no surprise, offense has been the story through the first 2 games. We saw it yesterday, 27 combined runs, and Ole Miss left the yard 6 times.
Yeah, pitchers beware, boy. This is a place that Ole Miss, the Rebels, they love to hit in Como. In 2023, they had 9 home runs in the 3 games. They already have 7 so far. So you think about it, 16 home runs in their last 5 games at Taylor Stadium. So I don't know what it is, but they love the backdrop. They love seeing the ball. They see it well.
Ole Miss, top 5 nationally in home runs. They were top 10 coming into the weekend and then have added to that total. And Isaac Humphrey has doubled his home run total over the first 2 games of this series.
Yeah, how about that when you get some production from the bottom of the lineup and Isaac Humphrey, there's got to be something about it. And sometimes players, you just love the ballpark, whether it's the backdrop or as a pitcher. I like places that were a little closer of the backstop, and you just do well at some certain place. So Isaac Humphrey, he is loving Columbia, Missouri.
Missouri head coach Kerrick Jackson has been trying to find answers on the mound all season, starting pitching, bullpen. They're rolling the dice today. They turn to a freshman left-hander, Brady Kellenbrink, who makes his first career start.
Yeah, a 4-pitch mix from Brady Kellenbrink. It's going to be a fastball in the 88 to 91. The numbers are a little misleading. He had a really tough outing against Evansville where he gave up 5. So that's where most of the runs have come. And so, but you're looking at a guy right here. You're not trying to go deep. It's just, hey, get as many outs as you can and keep the team in it.
Great shot by Darren.
Kerrick Jackson in his second season as Mizzou's head coach. And for the series, he told us that the big thing for his team is don't beat yourself. And that's kind of been an issue this season. It's been an issue in the first 2 games against Ole Miss where errors, free passes, hit batsmen have opened the door offensively for Ole Miss.
Yeah, when you get a chance, like you can't give other teams easy ways to score runs, and that's the name of the game. Pitching and defense will always win.
And then the legend, Mike Bianco, quarter century as Ole Miss's head coach, a few years removed from a College World Series championship, and he's got a top 20 team. Right now, he feels that there's a lot of things they do well. Doesn't feel they're great in any one particular department, but he says there is room to grow and max out that potential. Ole Miss looking for the sweep. Missouri looking to get that first SEC win of the season. Kellenbrink is ready, and Luke Hill leads it off for the Rebels. First pitch swinging, and he fouls it off. Hill so far in this series 1 for 7, but he's walked 4 times and he's been hit.
And interesting about Caroline, Coach said she changed her grip not too long ago and said, I feel more comfortable now than I ever have. And it's showing in her bowling and her execution.
The ball's 2 strikes, and early on, Lance, Kellenbrink throwing strikes, which has been a challenge for some of these Missouri pitchers.
It's such a personal thing.
You can see right now the book on him right now is, hey, he's going to be in the strike zone. Ole Miss hitters, Luke Hill's come out ready to swing. First 2 pitches, 2 hacks.
She didn't do it too long ago. and feel
Upstairs,
confident.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Hill.
Nyla Wilson, the senior.
316 hitter,
Fires right
4
back.
home runs, 15 RBI.
Moved in this lineup, and I'm going to tell you what I absolutely love about Nyla.
Boyles 1 foul.
She usually is playing
Top
a little
3
bit further
hitters in
right,
this
and
Ole Miss
everybody else
lineup
can watch here.
all have an on-base percentage of 440 or better, and it feels every time you look up in this series, Ole Miss has a couple of guys on base.
Like you just mentioned, I mean, it's 14 walked, 8 hit batters. It's 22 times to the plate. You really hadn't had to earn it, really. So that'll help that on-base percentage, and obviously those guys that love to hit with men on base, you can do that, bro. That's good hitting.
Flex a strike.
22 combined walks and hit batters for the Missouri pitching staff.
That's my little Monty. My daughter and her are very good friends. All of us parents are good friends. Has worked very hard on her game the last 4 years. Look at this, behind the ball so much more than she ever has been. And just the execution, rock
3-2.
and all of these teams.
Hill lifts one in the air, right center field.
Teams, so much more physical.
Cutting over Pierre Seals for out number 1.
You can see it in the scores and the competing nationwide.
Well, you could just see the ball carrying right there. And I don't think Luke Hill really got a hold of it that much, but just kept going. And Seals does a nice job, but I think he didn't think it was going to go that far, too. And his hat blows off as he's running for it.
Yes.
Might see some balls fly to the yard today again.
Buzzer there.
I'm not sure if that was.
The wind always seems to be a factor in this ballpark. First pitch to the lefty swinging Mitchell Sanford is a ball.
Said she fouled. Looks like she's.
Sanford is senior, 3 for 5 with a home run and a double yesterday.
She did foul. Okay, we're getting the judge.
The senior Rogers back to it.
One and two. Good fastball there by the young lefty.
If you're going to foul, that's the best thing you
Again,
can
the velocity is not necessarily the highest, that you would want to be at, but you don't have to throw hard. You put it in the right spot, and that's what he's doing. It's got a little funkiness, some deception behind it.
A first-team All-SWAC selection as a freshman.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the game for Kellen Brink.
This is probably the best fastball in the location. Down and in. You can see he was wanting to get his hands extended, and it ties him up. It's a good pitch right here. Good start for Kellen Brink.
There's Ryan Moorman. 2 hits yesterday, including a home run. Drove in 3. 1 for 5 with a couple of runs scored on Friday.
And here's a SWAC bowler of the year.
And a fastball over the inside corner, 0-1. Kellen Brink
8.
making his first start of the season. He's pitched in 5 games, all in relief, and the numbers inflated by 1 bad outing against Evansville. His last 2 outings, both scoreless. Last Sunday, a scoreless inning against LSU at the box. Struck out 2. And then 2 scoreless innings where he struck out 3 on the 9th of March against Binghamton. Mormon stays alive.
And we're just seeing a steady dose of fastball. And, yeah, that's a guy that just knows his pitch, knows himself. And even though it's obviously not the high velocity that people are chasing these days, he trusts the fastball, and he's going with his best pitch.
A good start here in the SWAC Bowling Championship.
Appearance. He's going to be a strike thrower. The fastball up to 93 miles an hour. It's mainly fastball slider. There's some occasional change, really only to left-handed hitters. But so when you're thinking right-handed part of the lineup, it's mostly fastball slider.
An early 3-pen lead.
He was a freshman on the 2022 championship team. Young man who is a biological science major, wants to be a doctor. This is the lineup that he'll face, and Jackson Lovich, the shortstop for Missouri, he loves hitting in this ballpark, 452 at home this season.
Almost got all 10.
Coming in just a little bit light, leaving the 2-pin, but here's what we're talking about. what they need.
Nichols is ready. Gehrig Goldbeck will lead it off for Missouri.
Relax.
0 for 7, 6 strikeouts, and he's been hit twice in the first 2 games of this series.
So that's what it's all about.
And really, the only flaw early on was that foul, as Quinney is able to pick up the spare.
Correct. And most of the ladies now throw a plastic ball that goes straighter at their stairs. It's all about angle, just straight line. They've become better and better at that. The coaching has
23 mile per hour wind gusts at the ballpark. See Nichols' jersey, a little loose with the breeze. 1-2 count to Goldbeck, who was slated to be the starting shortstop this year. Terrific defensive reputation, but he's been limited to DH since he's coming off UCL surgery. As you see the flags.
Great shot.
Jalen Myers, the transfer from Coppin State.
Swing and a miss, one
Gets
away.
a strike.
Went a little bit high. Her first shot made the move just a little bit.
See a lot of fastballs early, and then the changeup finishes him off late. You can see good diving action, going a little bit away from the lefties. So you're seeing a guy with an out pitch, slider to righties, but he will go to that changeup against the left-handed hitters.
That's the one thing with Nichols. His strikeouts have ticked up this year.
And
first pitch to Mateo Cerna. Hammered deep right field. And goodbye. Back-to-back games with a jack for Cerna. And Missouri on the board first.
Especially back in the day, I bowled here for a number of years. And it was hard to keep all stuff with friends. You know, there's less play here, not a lot of league competition, and it is one of the best places if you want to train. So I can see why they see a little bit of a difference.
Boy, Mateo Cerda said, win. Don't need win. This is a changeup that just stays up out of the zone, and he absolutely crushes this ball.
For Smith.
Get the Tigers on the board early.
And that's the first open frame so far for Southern.
It is, and she left the 1-3-6. She shot at it with her spare ball, which the majority of the time I think you would use your strike ball. But, you know, they have a game plan and it's worked, so I'm not going to question anything.
It'll be a 1-1 pitch now to the number 3 hitter, Caden Peer.
Miranda Fuentes. Almost gets a little extra help there, but instead she'll look to pick up the spare.
2-1. Pardon me, Cerna had homered Friday, not Saturday.
Miranda, see where her eyes are?
Second home run of the series nonetheless.
She looks at the approach, draws that line as to where she wants her ball to go, and brings her eyes back. Very unique, very unique. I couldn't do it. I think I would feel like I'd fall down.
Has some carry with it with the wind. And Humphrey chases it all the way to the warning track for out number 2.
But as you can already tell, that's going to be a tough wind to deal with because, I mean, he was camped under it and then all of a sudden start drifting. So, you know, the hitters are going to think about, hey, lean back, put the ball in the air to right field, see what can happen.
We have ourselves a 1-pin match.
First pitch, a breaking ball in there for a strike to Keegan Knutson.
As we head down
He's in the 4-hole, the second baseman, 2 for 9 in the series. Punched through the right side, and a 2-out single extends the inning for Caden Nicoletto, who has been Missouri's best hitter this season.
Very smooth approach. Simple game.
That's a good job right here. Not try to do too much of that. Ball's over the plate, outside, leans over, shoots it there, trusts the hands. Himself a little single.
it's definitely showing up in their shot making.
Nicoletto, 3 hits yesterday. Check swing. It's a strike.
Second time through coming up here for Caroline.
Young
Lewis.
man from Perth,
Prairie View
Australia.
A&M. Favorite professional athlete, Serena Williams.
If you're wondering, Lance, that's about a 28-hour flight from Columbia, Missouri.
Championship spirit today.
Okay. Yeah, it's that needs to be a first-class one right there. You can be able to stretch out. Nicoletto's a guy, though, that absolutely hammers right-handed pitching, hitting .444 this year.
Didn't get that extra English on the end.
Definitely got that ball right of target. As you'll see, I think this ball gets out to about 6-7 right there. Actually got out to about 3. There is that out of bounds to the right. The oil pattern was definitely playing more when you find more hook in a track area and the more you move to the left. When you do get it to the left,
Breaking ball drops in there, a ball and 2 strikes.
to all of the teams this weekend, there was that out of bounds from day 1. So just a bad shot. So use your strike ball to shoot at this spare. Actual game comes into play. All right.
Check on Knutson, who's only stolen 1 out of 2 this season. Missouri will run. They like to be aggressive. They've done it for the most part earlier in games this season.
Lewis able to pick up spare. And a close game gets a little tighter.
Picture perfect. Right here. Hits just slightly to the left of the head pin. Perfect.
Two balls and 2 strikes. No advance.
Southern holding a
Now, Lance, how important is it for Missouri to jump out ahead, considering Ole Miss is 15-1 this season when scoring first?
It's huge, especially after you've lost the first 2 games. You're trying to salvage this last game. You know, obviously the series is already going to the Rebels, but you have a chance to finish up strong on the weekend. And I like if you get to the point where if you lose the series, right, and you have the chance to choose which game, which we know we can't do, I would rather win the last game because then you take that momentum into the next week's practice and next week's games.
That's the only thing I see.
There's the 2-2. And the count goes full, so that releases Knutson at first.
Very, very direct. Is if you miss left, there isn't any hold built up there yet. So the ball does go to the Brooklyn. She gets a break, leaves the 10 pin. She will change balls to shoot at the spare.
Popped up to third. Udemark fighting the wind and able to hang on for out number 3. Missouri gets on the board first. We've seen our fair share of home runs this weekend. We get another one. Mateo Cerna, 6th of the season. It's 1-0 Tigers.
for the Panthers.
Truly love
Organic and dairy-free.
that how she has everybody look at each other and go, I'm choosing you. That's just
Here we go.
Third time today.
Again, similar to
At Sprouts, our shelves are filled with new, exciting, and delicious discoveries. This is that Sprouts feeling.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
It begins with the flicker of an idea.
the right side of the blade.
When that idea happens, in a place made for creative, collaborative thinkers, that idea can transform you.
We remind you, number 2 LSU begins a 3-game set against Mississippi State on Thursday. It's all on the SEC Network. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern from the box in Baton Rouge. Top of the second, Ole Miss at the plate, 4, 5, and 6. Utermark, Reuter, and Federico. Utermark, 5 walks in this series. He's got a home run as well.
Common sequence here as of late.
Right on that one, fouled it off.
You could see her lift up on it. I don't know if we could see a replay on that, but she slipped on that shot. But that didn't play. That didn't front of her. Right here. You'll see right at the end. She slips up just a little bit, loses her balance, but tickles that head pin and only leaves the 10.
2 balls into strike. Brady Kellenbrink, freshman lefty from Baldwin, Missouri.
16-pin lead.
With the spare.
Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Rogers finishes it off.
Ain't gonna miss. He has struck out 3 straight Ole Miss hitters.
Victory.
So I think the biggest thing about it, it's believing in the fastball. But look at the locations. Fastball in, ties up Utermark's hands. He wants to get those arms extended and see it's just not a comfortable swing. That's a nice pitch.
To the Jaguars. One more attempt here. For Rogers to close this.
First pitch swinging. Colin Reuter pops it foul. And he started the first 3 games now of this series and has been lifted for a pinch hitter Furness each time. Furness has come off the bench and done some damage for Ole Miss.
Left 2 open, but that is
Lefty
good enough
starting.
for the win here in game 1.
Mike Bianco going with the
Southern.
right-handed hitting Reuter to begin the game.
Rogers was able to get 8th.
How about that luxury, though? You got your DHs for the series is 6 for 10. No matter if it's right-handed or left-handed, just pick one, right?
Popped up.
So Jaden on her first shot.
Foul territory.
5-10.
And it lands for a strike, 1 and 2. Now the wind's going to be a factor today, Lance.
Yeah, you got to think, though, if you're the Missouri Tigers, you played in this park, you practiced in this park, right? You know the wind. They've done those drills where, you launch the ball up out of the pitching machine and you watch the wind blow it back. You got to trust the fact that it's going to come back over play. I think he might have lost that one in the sun.
Try something different, whether it's a different ball, move on the lane, because you need that information for the next game and to tell your teammates.
So it's a learning tool.
So it gives Reuter a bit of a lifeline. Now the 1-2. A little bit high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now, Lance, from a pitcher's standpoint, it's a play when it's hit. It stayed in play. You're thinking that should be caught. And now you're burning more pitches. The hitter gets to see more pitches. And, again, it's not an error, but it's missed opportunity.
Great shot.
And now the count runs full, 3 and 2.
Right, and that's the ultimate, the mindset, the focus, because you're right. These outs are precious, and he knows he's not going to be out there in the 6th, 7th inning. So he's like, hey, every out I can get is precious. And he made the pitch, got the out, and it falls. Well, you got to instantly focus that mindset back up.
Reuter continues to extend the at-bat. Kellenbrink got Luke Hill to fly out on a wind-aided fly ball to deep right field, and then he struck out the next 3 hitters.
As they continue to stay hot.
There you go. So what could have easily been a second out on a pop-up in foul territory.
I've seen the awesome changeup, and the fastball spotted up.
Swing and a miss. Kellen Brink has struck out 5, and he strikes out the side of the second.
Well, he's using a good mix, man. We've seen the changeup. We've seen the fastball. The fastball in has been really good. And then, hey, let's expand the zone as well.
A strike.
SEC softball tomorrow. The number 16 Razorbacks bring on the heat as they challenge the number 7 Lady Vols in Knoxville. SEC softball tomorrow on SEC Network.
The SEC and SEC Network thank our official corporate sponsors for their continued support of our student athletes during every championship season.
She collects a strike. So a pair of strikes to open up the first frame.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Puma.
Too much, as she would say.
How soft are Muggsy jeans? They're literally softer than sweatpants.
And
it's safe to say, with over 25,000 five-star reviews, Muggsy's changed the jean game. With free shipping and returns, it's a no-brainer. Get your first pair today at Muggsy.com.
This is the story of the one. The one knows the unexpected can put everything on the line. But with a teammate like Granger, she's confident that she will always win the day. Call, click, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Look, great blue heron. Know when I go, I'd like to lead some money to the local bird conservancy.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will, something you can sign and make official. Start your will at trustandwill.com now and make it count.
Got a little inside of target.
Leading it off for Missouri in the home half of the second, Jackson Lovich, the 6-hole hitter. A big bases clearing triple yesterday. 3 hits, including a home run on Friday. And he's been swinging a hot bat, 447 over his last 12 games.
Stay aggressive. Make sure to do
fastball at the knees by Nichols, 0-1.
1 minute doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're standing there and then you're getting ready to throw a shot, a minute's a long time.
Well, no question for Prairie View A&M with Tiffany Clark. I mean, that's somebody who has been through it as a player.
100%. That's why I think you're such
0-2, so he backs up the fastball with a little bit of off speed.
And now coaches.
Naomi Smith. Just a little bit of a hook there to lead 3.
Lance Nichols is a guy who has yet to complete 5 innings in a game this season, and so far the first 2 games of this series for Ole Miss, they've had to go to their bullpen quite a bit. Elliott on Friday night lasted 4 2/3, and then Maddox could not make it out of the third yesterday. Grounded weakly to short. Chang across the diamond, and a nice pick at first by Reuter.
Yeah, you're always looking for depth out of your starter on Sunday, no matter what happens. There's a nice play right here, but look at short arms to throw. But hey, how many times during the year in a game, man, does the first baseman save runs by that pick? And it's a lot easier. They make it look easier than it is. And that's something where you don't remember that, but all of a sudden you go, hey, you remember it if it rolls up his glove and that guy gets to second base, you score some runs. But that's a nice pickup right there.
Just a little bit, again, that
pitch in the dirt. Nice pick by the catcher, Foley. Who was the best first baseman you ever played with defensively?
Defensively, I would say Carlos Pena with the Tampa Bay Rays was a guy that, anytime the ball hit the ground, it seemed like he always came away with it. Now, Adam LaRoche was pretty good as well, both big left-handed hitters. Trying to think of other guys at first base. Kevin Millar was one of the guys a year. He wasn't quite known for the glove.
Baker format.
He had a little bit of personality, didn't he?
No, that's what he wasn't known for the glove, no more for the personality. Oh, he was a fun guy to have in the clubhouse.
It's a 2-1 count to the 7-hole hitter, Brock Daniels.
Seems like she's stuck on
one
the
down
approach.
Here in the second.
Kind of waving or not waving.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Daniels yesterday, a home run, a triple, 4 runs batted in.
Right there at the end.
Hit one of the, hit one of
just rubbing it on
the home runs for Missouri.
Can't do anything about it.
Ole Miss had 6 home runs in that game. That one hit him.
Strike target.
Denise, that's the 14th hit by pitch in this series. I mean, obviously, this is not like hey, we're pitching inside. That's a slider that's hooked that he takes off the ankle. See, he's barely able to walk it off. I mean, that's a lot of hit batters in a 3-game series.
Yeah, that one clearly not intentional. Looked like a breaking ball that got away.
Panthers come up empty there.
Yeah, little slider. You talk about back foot slider. It's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the swing and miss. And Nichols hooks it just a little bit.
Getting their sea legs here to start out the championship.
Nichols tries to stay in there stoic, but then realizes, oh, that really hurt.
Back on the approach.
We see that a lot, though, in college, where now it's not only become an art form, it's become something that teams teach.
Well, I think a lot of times, too, is you have pitchers that don't quite have the command, going inside, and so they're not comfortable doing it.
Prairie View's been waiting.
And if you go inside without command, you're going to brush them up.
To wait all day to play and then try to
fastball high to the Memphis transfer, Pierre Seals. Daniels is a threat to run at first. He's stolen 6. He's only been caught twice.
Just got a little bit right. Ball never recovered. Hit to the left of the head pin, slide it over into the 10.
It was interesting talking to both coaches. Neither felt like it was an advantage.
Big hole on the right side for Seals.
Play earlier today. Both said, well, there's scenarios where that can easily work both ways.
Correct.
And to check on Daniels.
Mobley for spare. Leaves the 10 up.
Seals began his career in the JUCO ranks.
Good shot at it. I thought you had a chance.
327 with 10 homers last year for the Memphis Tigers. Daniel certainly has the attention of Nichols.
Southern with a 3-pin lead as we head to the 4th frame.
And as we saw this morning, all of Southern's matches were close.
Correct.
3 pins, 7.
This one driven out. Left center field. That one all the way into center field. That our camera guy trying to follow that ball in the wind, and the catch made by Humphrey. There's 2 outs.
The bounce and a strike for the Panthers.
It's an adventure out here in the outfield. That win. Humphrey does a nice job of getting behind that ball. Any ball up in the air, especially hit decently, you don't know what could happen. That ball can get over the fence, get in the gap.
Kicking out that 6-10.
The old John Updike line.
Take advantage of that.
When he described Ted Williams' last game with the Red Sox like a feather in a vortex.
Her face started beaming. He talked and asked her about
Peyton Basler, the 9-hole hitter, 0 for 3 yesterday.
She is the whole package there. She is your
that put an end to a 5-game hitting streak.
She wants to be
fights off a fastball 0-1.
She's just an all-around good kid.
Switch hitter batting from the left side.
The senior comes back with a strike.
Nyla's still playing the lanes a little bit different, but again, she's able to do that because she can repeat in that part of the lane. Right here, she's going to be a little to the right
at
of
the letters, 0-2.
But keeping it in front of.
I like that right there. Denise, Mason Nichols sat there. He held the ball. That's how you stop a base runner. We've already said he's 6 of 8. Daniels on first. Might think about running to get in the scoring position with 2 outs. You hold that runner there.
Here is Jada Gordon.
And Lance, you would think 9-hole hitter, 2 outs. And this might be the time to go, although on an 0-2 count, Ole Miss has the option of pitching out.
That's another thing you got to see very often in the game.
For a reason.
1-2.
Same thing, just a little left to target right here. Pulls through it just a little bit. You can always tell by their face. I love that. As you can see, it's to the left of that tracer. Once your ball is left of that tracer, it's been going Brooklyn each time. So you've got to get closer as a better.
Just missed inside. Now with a 2-2 count, do you think about sending Daniels?
I think if you were going to hold him up on the 0-2, which was probably going to be the all-speed pitch, probably going to let the 9-hole hitter hit. And that way, if he gets out, you're already flipping the lineup over.
Will have an opportunity for a spare. But this shot she's going to have to attempt here.
The washout. So her teammates shoot at it. Again, just hit to the left of the head pin. Hopefully send that.
Grounded softly right back to Nichols. Through Nichols. Cheng charging and gets the put out. 6-3.
And hook it.
Well, hey, that's why you back up your guys, right? Right through the wickets for Nichols. But hey, Cheng there to pick him right back up. Nice job. Watch this transition. Bang.
I know.
Is this yours?
Yeah, Ma.
No way. Yes, way. Get in.
Said it earlier. Sometimes you can tell from sensational experience.
There's nothing like that first Mercedes feeling. Experience the feeling yourself at a local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
The huddle. It's a circle of trust. Here, big plans become big plays.
As Coach Clark said, this is the standard for Prairie View. I want constant recognition for not only bowling, but women's bowling.
There's a strike. 3 balls. 1 strike to count to Foley. A couple of multi-hit games in this series in the 11 hits, 5 home runs. That was entering this 3-game series against Missouri.
Maybe just a little bit slow again. Always focus.
Big hack.
Just
right side adventure. Knutson for out number 1.
You're waiting around, you're standing, ball goes just a little high, leaving.
It's a great job right there by Kellenbrink, battling back. When you fall behind 3-0, looked a little frustrated, and then makes that 3-0 pitch, and then does a nice job of getting that pop up.
Another opportunity here for Myers. Could not get both. 1 out of 2.
Upstairs and away to Luke Cheng, the shortstop,
what is the
and the number 9-hole hitter.
The spare ball.
Pitcher owes him one after he bailed out Nichols to end bottom half of the second inning. Little ground ball went through the pitcher's legs, and mentioned that Cheng did what he was supposed to. He was there to back up.
The best chance to make the spare, which she did. It just hooked a little bit at the end there, and she chopped it. But it's basically just no hook in the ball.
Right, Derek Jackson doesn't normally make the pitcher's mound visits unless he's pulling a guy. So that had to be an all coaching. I don't know if it's a, hey, settle down. You're like the first 2 innings you had success because it was strike 1, strike 2. You were pounding the zone.
As you can see, it got
try
right
not
at
to
that
do anything
tracer.
different. Go back to it. That's a coach, though, knowing the opportunity to go right out there and get his young guy.
Cheng drives one to right field. Seals going back, and the wind carries it over the wall.
Should tell you something.
First home run of the season for Luke Cheng. Another home run for Ole Miss, and we're tied at 1.
Direct. So if you want to play them like that, you need to get your feet a little bit further right.
This is playing to the elements, right, Anish? Get the ball up in the air to right field. Seals thought he had that ball all day long, and it just keeps carrying in that jet stream. But how about that? Make a nice play to end the inning, come up in the next inning, hit you a jack. That's sports center written all over it.
A tale as old as time. Now, the only thing, he was supposed to lead off the inning. Isn't that how it works? You make the play to end the inning, you're supposed to lead off the next inning.
Yeah, they messed that up.
Top of the order now for Luke Hill. Flew out to deep right. How does that feel from a pitcher's standpoint? You feel like you made a pretty good pitch. You think you got an out, and then the wind essentially turns it into a home run.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling because then now every time you see the ball go in the air, your mindset's always like, uh-oh, what's going to happen?
Great luck. Leading the 6th pin.
2 away. That one deflected off the glove of Kellenbrink, but Lovich makes the put out.
Goes right to the left of that tracer, just like everybody's doing now.
Aiden Jacoby getting loose in the Missouri bullpen. You see Kellenbrink, he's at 44 pitches. His season high is 47, and now you're going through the order for a second time. So what's the adjustment these Ole Miss hitters should make?
Early on, it was fastball heavy, and it was in the strike zone. So you want to see the Ole Miss hitters come out there and just getting the good swings on the fastball. But that's what you're also seeing now is Kellenbrink. He's starting to adjust as well. More breaking balls, more off-speed pitches, and not as many strikes early on.
Sanford at the dish.
Giving them an opportunity to
check swing. Did he go? He did not. 2-0. Third base umpire Justin Robinson. Eddie Newsom calling balls and strikes behind home plate.
Naomi Smith leaves the 10.
Sanford, the Southland hitter of the year at New Orleans last season when he hit 381 with 15 home runs.
That one's got Cerner right on the top of that leg.
You can see the tracer. You could see he got it to the right just a little bit, but her angle.
And that shin guard to be just a little bit higher. But that's been the biggest difference this inning, Anish, for Kellenbrink is he was 0-2-1-2 in those first 2 innings. Now, this inning, he's been 1-0, 2-0, and Ole Miss hitters are a little bit more comfortable knowing that, especially when it is that fastball count, they can get a good swing on it.
Or
behind 3-1.
They have to change ball then. They have to.
With Ryan Mormon, the 3-hole hitter, waiting on deck.
Nicely done by Smith.
48 pitches, officially a season high.
One of the unique
Brady Kellenbrink.
Especially on the side of Southern,
this is his first start of the season.
The ability to.
That is a foul ball.
Lanes. How about that?
Like he got a piece of Sanford, 3-2.
Key that the coaches, or let's say,
things like this come in threes. Eddie Newsom is next. Home plate umpire. You got Cerner took one off the thigh.
That allows you possibly.
Sanford off the shin.
Good guess.
That'd look to be a little bit higher too. Yeah, he's grabbing up there. His shin guard needs to be a little bit higher. Home plate umpire, you might be taking the next one.
Only going to be,
the ball has eyes.
But do I think maybe 2 to 3 boards, or with your feet, not your eyes, or changing balls? Yeah, I do, and I think it's something.
Now, Lance, you get that right on the bone. That doesn't go away right away.
No, especially on the inside part of that shin. It was a pitcher that you're thinking, hey, I'm going fastball in this next pitch. I'm going right back in there because he's going to be a little tentative.
Sanford struck out his first time up. One of 5 strikeouts for Kellenbrink.
Definitely way left of target. You could see.
Yeah, this is
again their face.
Last inning for him. If you're Missouri, you got to be happy.
Take advantage of it.
3 innings, 1-run ball by a freshman lefty making his first start. Breaking ball freezes Sanford. 6 strikeouts over 3 innings. The only mistake, a wind-aided home run allowed to Luke Chang.
Yeah, wind-aided or not, though, you got to know what to do. Puts a good swing on that fastball right up the middle part of the plate. Gets it out. He's got a tie ball game.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment. Did you know your new favorite burger has hand-smashed patties made to order, hot and melty cheese, and a tangy sauce? How rude of me. Let me introduce you. Tried the Double Sonic Smasher and had a half-price drink in the app.
Why are you wearing uncomfortable jeans when you could be wearing Muggsy jeans? One of our thousands of 5-star reviews said, these jeans feel like rolling around in a puddle of puppies. Head to Muggsy.com to get your first pair of the most comfortable jeans ever worn.
Have a great trip.
Do you think they'll be okay?
Nothing's gonna happen. And if it did, your parents will take care of the kids. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Something you can sign and make official. Get started at trustandwill.com and make it count.
This is the one who helps everyone stay safe. An unsung hero in a building full of everyday heroes. Is just how he likes it. The industrial-grade products you need. Call, click, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Panthers trying to
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
3 innings of 1-run ball, 6 strikeouts for Brady Kellenbrink. Do you bring him back for one more inning, even though he's thrown a career high in pitches so far?
Yeah, I would. That's one of those things where you know where you're at pitching depth this so far, this weekend. Obviously, he's getting some hugs, so that looks like that's probably it, just the way they're reacting to him right now. I might have sent him back out there a little bit and going batter for batter just because, hey, you don't know how many he get. He's putting up zeros for the most part. He's got us here in that 1-1 ball game. I'm going to stretch him just a hair.
But again, leaving only.
You wonder if part of the thinking is to give the reliever a clean inning to begin with.
Yeah, it's obviously that's the thinking, and going into that, and as a former reliever as well, those are the most comfortable situations. You don't want to come in with a man on base, and you also too, I don't know if coaches look at it like this, but Kellenbrink first start, there's no way he's getting a loss, right? So the part where obviously I don't know how the scoring will go down if they said he was on a pitch count. If they take the lead right here, if he's credited and they keep the lead the whole time, if he could get credited with the win. But right now, as his first start, there's no way he can take a loss if he's out.
Top of the order for this Missouri offense: Goldbeck, Cerna, and Pierre. Goldbeck 0 for 8, 7 strikeouts in this series, and behind 1-2.
So this is a key shot right here.
Now go figure.
That's a way that you can also give a guy, especially the young freshman, stuff to build on, confidence. If you go back out there, you give up a leadoff single, and all of a sudden that guy comes to score, you take a loss, and it's like, oh, man.
Meanwhile, Goldbeck rips one into the corner down the left field line. He's into second, big turn. Will hold there with his stand-up double to lead off the home third.
Fastball up and just inside outside ball to left field, right down the line. And I love the hustle, and I like it after he actually pushed it a little bit. I thought he was going to try to maybe make the throw because outfielder Sanford the ball just kind of stuck around in that corner out there. Boy, loving some excitement out there for that leadoff double.
It is the second time through against this Missouri lineup for Nichols. Cerna homered his first time up.
Question now.
Swung on the first pitch. This time he takes
Prairie View
strike one.
Final frame.
Switch hitting catcher from Florida.
Jada Gordon.
Now go figure, you had a 9-6 game on Friday, 17-10 yesterday. Throw back to second.
There on the back end.
And then Lance, I think everybody expected with Missouri not knowing up until a few hours before the game what they were going to do pitching-wise. Now, Ole Miss, their starters have not been able to give them length. I think we all kind of came into this game thinking this might be a slugfest, and as the old adage goes, you can't predict baseball.
Yeah, that's why you got to get between those white lines and grab the ball, play the game.
But that's, again, it's how you feel. She needs to make
a lot of times you get the wind blowing out like that. Guys want to see that ball go go over the fence, so they starting to swing for it. And you talk to most hitters, when you start swinging for home run, that's obviously not when it's going to be good and it's going to happen for you.
The 10 open.
Cerna laid off.
The door open potentially for the Jaguars.
Nichols stared in there a long time. And on to third. Moving up is Goldbeck.
I think we had a balk.
In steps their anchor, Jalen Rogers.
Just foul.
Strike would be nice. If she goes into their 7th spare strike, they win by a 10. And I'm a terrible editor, so somebody better be double checking me, and then I'm admitting that on air. I've said that my whole life.
Math sometimes is a team effort, and we have a team.
That's cool.
Ole Miss had limped into this series, having lost 4 of 5.
Oh, I got to tell you, off her.
So you're right, there was a balk, which allowed Goldbeck to move up, and as a result, the count has been adjusted too, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cerna just got a piece to stay alive.
Here's the terrible great ball, just did not finish hard enough. But a great light hit, just did not send. I think they had the tie, right? Wasn't it a tie for the season? But it
We get a mound visit. Big spot here in the bottom of the 3rd. They got a Missouri team which has lost 6 in a row and looking for its first SEC win of the season. Ole Miss, which lost 2 of 3 last weekend against Arkansas, and then lost a midweek game against Southern Miss, looking for a series sweep.
I think it's important that everybody gets better, because that's only better for
Ryan Rodriguez starting to get loose, and the Rebels bullpen.
About it as we head to game 3 here. Made it 1 game apiece.
Nicoletto, first pitch swinging, humpback liner to first. Runner gets back, but 2 outs.
One key to both of these planes. If you miss left, your ball will go left. So to me, you need to make sure you get your ball to the right just a little bit, which means.
So the baton now passed to Jackson Lovich. He's been Missouri's hottest hitter in this series.
Bump to the right, little bump to the left.
3 for 5 with a home run Friday. Couple of hits for RBI yesterday, including a bases clearing triple. And another big RBI spot here with 2 outs.
Just a little bit.
A spare for Jalen Myers.
And that was a great shot. That was a great first
Lovich
shot.
grounded to short his first time. Drills one the opposite field. This could be trouble. And that one is gone. A 3-run home run. And Missouri takes a 5-1 lead.
Ole Smith, the senior, steps in.
Has been all over the barrels this inning. Jackson Lovich loves to go out to right center field. That ball, look at that front shoulder, stays in. Fastball up, and he puts it into the jet stream. Homer number 5, RBI number 21.
Just crosses over.
And 9 of those 21 runs batted in have come in this series. Nichols still in there, deals low to Brock Daniels, who was hit by a pitch his first time up.
Especially in competitions like this where every moment can count. Amanda Fuentes.
4 runs already
Fuentes
in here in the 3rd.
For a spare. I want to go back to the point you were making about the league. You look at the SWAC. There's been so much success for Prairie View A&M as a
been a tough go for Nichols, second time through this Missouri lineup.
Fuentes. Also Alabama State, who lost earlier today. Southern has won at least a share of the SWAC over the last 3 years.
In the air, right field. Mormon coming on, fighting the sun and the wind, and he makes the catch for the final out. We come back, we will talk to Mike Bianco, the head coach for Ole Miss. That's on the other side.
Motivational speaker. All these little things that I have added.
We've all gotten good at stirring the pot. You know, maybe we find time for a little pot luck. Yes, bring those red beans with the andouille, bring pastas and kielbasas, and seriously, we all can't just get along for a few hours? That's a crock. You just gotta go gloves on, Johnsonville in, finger pointing off, and keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie, boogie, jam, slam, bust the dialect of the man and command come.
Gonna be a hot one out there for weekend, Ole Miss. Good luck this year, Rip.
You did it. You're home. I can't wait for you to discover the true meaning of hotty toddy. It's a cheer that connects us all to the red and blue. It's the moment that begins when you step on campus and continues long after you turn your tassel. I can't wait for you to discover your legacy and make the world a better place.
Looks like she
Are you ready?
A little bit further left.
Ole Miss head coach Mike Bianco joins us here in the top of the 4th inning.
Perfect.
Coach, describe the conditions, especially the wind out there.
Well, it's been windy all weekend, but it's been windy for everybody. You know, the difference in the game's not the wind is, they've had better at bats, pitched it a little bit better than us. So, again, you got to credit their offense. They've gotten some good swings off. I think both of those balls probably get out no matter what. And we got to have some better at bats on our side.
Well, speaking of that, Coach, what does the lineup need to do to create or to gain that momentum that y'all created the first 2 games of the series?
Well, they just switched pitchers. Obviously they started, with an injury in their staff. They ended up going with a different guy today, a bullpen piece, and he was good. We couldn't catch up to the fastball, and on a day like this, that's disappointing. But now they go to the bullpen, and again, we got it starts with some base runners. You know that. We got to get some traffic on the bases and then get the big hit.
Coach, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Washout. So those are the ones we need to take.
The day for Kellen Brink is done. He goes 3 innings, 6 strikeouts, just the 1 run. And Caden Jacoby, 6'3", 220-pound senior, right-hander, comes out of the bullpen. He's a guy that could pitch, Lance, in any scenario, can spot, start, and he gives Carrick Jackson a guy who can give you a little bit of length, too, out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're talking about 7 appearances already with 21 innings. So, yeah, he is a guy that can extend you out of the bullpen. And so you look to be kind of that bridge guy that gets you to the back end of the bullpen, especially now with that 5-1 lead. Fastball, slider, curveball change, has it all. And it's about a 50-50 mix of fastballs and all speed.
I thought that was a pretty good shot.
About like Kellen Brink, 88 to 91 with the heater.
Close. I think she's simply.
And he will have to navigate the heart of this Ole Miss lineup. Mormon, Utermark, and Reuter. Might get a pinch hitter for Reuter.
This is
a ball and a strike to Mormon, who struck out his first time up.
She's switching to her spare ball. She'll hit to the right of the 3-pin. Try to slide it over into the 7.
See if she could make Southern pay for leaving.
Mormon came into the game hitting .341. 8 home runs, second on the team. Kobe pitched on Friday, went an inning and a third. Took the loss through 32 pitches. Gave up 4 earned runs.
Great spare to keep this match within 3 pins.
Lance's pitches have a lot of movement to them.
This was picture perfect.
Yeah.
It's a
Could be a really good thing, but also can be a bad thing. We can't stay in the zone.
Huge spare to keep this close.
You see a lot of choppers and everything, and he's pitching good in the zone and staying on that bottom. And a lot of times it's hard because you don't know how much movement is there every day.
There's the old Adam ball right at Lovich. One down. SEC softball, Arkansas and Tennessee. A couple of ranked teams finish up their big three-game set tomorrow. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on SECN. Lance, before the game, we were talking, and you mentioned all the free passes that Missouri pitchers have given up.
Next try.
Come after hitters, you throw strikes. To your point, you said, hey, they could hit it hard. That's why you have fielders. And case in point, Mormon, good wood, but lines out to short.
I watched them both.
Well, that's the part. When you start shying away from contact, it's going to spell the doom of you as a pitcher. You got to pitch to contact and let your outfield, infield, those guys, they have scholarships for a reason. They're on the field. They can make the plays. And you're right. You can hit that ball. A rocket is, if it's right at somebody, heck, it's still an out. You get to go back in the dugout.
2 balls and a strike. The count to the number 5 hitter, Judd Utermark. Got 9 home runs to lead the team. Hit one on Saturday.
With the switch to the spare ball, it's more of a straight line, and in that situation there, you don't get the extra bounce.
Correct. The other
and hard on the ground, off the glove of Basler at third. It trickles into short left. Stopping at first with a single is Utermark. And here comes Will Furness, who will pinch it for Reuter.
To the left.
That's exactly where Jacoby wants to be. That sinker's just running down, and you see the Ole Miss hitters chop that one right there into the front part of the dirt in that turf, and you get the ground ball, but sometimes it's in a hole, and Utermark gets on base, but still, that's where you want to be pitching.
The 10 open for more.
See if they let Reuter bat. They won't. They'll go to the bench, and they'll turn Furness loose. He entered the game as a pinch hitter for Reuter on Friday, went 2 for 2. Did the same on Saturday, went 2 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBI.
Paid off this year. She's bowled very well.
She's been one of the most prolific bowlers in this SWAC tournament. Pick up a spare here. That will begin to.
Base hit opposite field, down the left field line. Daniels digs it out of the corner. Moving to third is Utermark. And into second with a double is Furness. So he continues his pinch hitting prowess, coming off the bench, delivering a big knock, and Ole Miss set up.
Another way you can see the.
Boy, that's just an inside out little fastball hitting where it's pitched. Love to see that right there by Mr. Furness.
And now you're starting to see new faces.
He thought he had him a stand-up double, and then all of a sudden realized, hey, I got to turn the wheels on. Good head first slide. The dugout had a little fun with that one.
Recruiting and the bowlers just coming in and being more, of course. By the way, the bowlers now coming into.
RBI chance now for Hayden Federico,
yes.
who struck out looking in the second.
No doubt.
And you've seen the start of two-hitter.
The bullpen has been problematic for Missouri all season, certainly in this series against Ole Miss. In the first 2 games of this series, 10 innings, 17 earned runs, 16 hits, 10 walks, 7 hit batters.
Jalen Rogers close out the first half. Game 3 here for Southern.
Two balls and a strike to Federico. On deck is Isaac Humphrey, who has 3 home runs and 8 RBI in this series.
Too, as well. A great shot. Looks like she moved just a little bit further left. Gets her ball around 14 out to 9.
That one hits him, and this is not what Missouri wanted to do. They have loaded the bases, and Ole Miss has the man of the hour at the plate.
Team selection this year.
A lot of times you got to have that right man, right spot, right? Well, here you go, Isaac Humphrey, bases loaded. He's been seeing the ball really well. 3 home runs so far. Look at that. Those aren't cheap ones, man. Showing some pop.
So Jacoby came out of the bullpen here in the fourth for Kellenbrink, who threw 3 innings of 1-run ball. The 1 run, a wind-aided opposite field home run by the 9-hole hitter Luke Chang. And remember, Mormon, the first batter this inning, hit the ball hard. He lined out to short. Single by Utermark. Double by the pinch hitter Furnace. Federico hit by a pitch.
Switch balls, shoot cross lane. She has a lot more angle to the spare.
Missouri makes a move to the bullpen. A short outing for Jacoby. Ben Smith, the right-hander, inherits a 3-2 count as he enters.
7. Now,
Shelter Insurance, this is Charles.
Afternoon, Charles.
Joshua?
Does Shelter Insurance cover shiny red cars?
Yeah.
What about purple vans?
Also, yes.
Monster trucks?
You know we offer car insurance, son. What's going on?
I'm still mad at you.
From shiny red cars to purple minivans, you can count on Shelter's local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Look at us, all stressed before we even get dressed. Let's take a little time off to go off on brunch. Oh yeah, can't hurt. Let's roll with sausage, ricotta, and peaches, and quiches, and all kinds of grape. Yeah. Let's trigger line dances, not each other. You just got to keep the Bloodies merry, the Johnsonville aplenty, and keep it juicy.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousness.
The best part of the Sonic Strawberry Mangonada Slush con Tajín is probably the sweet strawberry. Oh, the tangy mango. El Tajín. Okay, esto está difícil. Discover the Strawberry Mangonada Slush and many more flavors in the Sonic app.
Are you 50 or older? You already know the importance of shingles protection. But did you know pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination is now recommended too? Why? If you're 50 or older, you're at 6.4 times greater risk of getting pneumococcal pneumonia. So schedule at vaxassist.com today.
A tough outing for Jacoby. A third of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned. And he is still responsible for Humphrey on second base. Ben Smith, sinker slider pitcher, comes out of the bullpen, and he inherits a 3-2 count to the catcher, Austin Foley.
Yeah, especially you said the sinker slider, and especially right-handers. For slider sinker, it's over 50% slider, and I'm almost going to bet that that's exactly what Coach Jackson is thinking. He wants to get that slider coming out right here. It's a good spot to do it. Got it, likes to throw it.
I guess from the left it would be Jersey. I don't know. I still say Brooklyn. It's light enough to mix them up and catch the break.
So after a 4 spot in the bottom of the third by Missouri, Ole Miss answers with 3 in the fourth and still threatening.
No one else can.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's funny.
Tying run at second. Go ahead run at the plate. It'll be a 3-2 to the catcher, Foley. He's got 5 home runs on the season.
A strike for Mobley, so Southern trying to turn things around. They're in a hole here.
Swing and a miss. There's the slider he chased. And a big out number 2 as Luke Chang, the 9-hole hitter, digs in.
Everything, execute, get that ball off your hand.
Scat report says it. That's exactly what you're going to see. And a lot of times as a hitter, though, when you know what to expect, it makes you get a little bit more anxious. And that's what you saw right now as Foley went outside the zone and chased that slider for an out.
Chang last time up hit his first career home run.
Giving Southern an open.
Swings over the top of the slider.
Pretty much a spare or strike in each frame.
Got a couple of breaks.
Chang just cleared concussion protocol right before the start of this series. In fact, he was not cleared until Friday. Lays off.
Lewis.
Ole Miss. Little hot streak has started.
In play. Leaves the
against Mizzou, made the move to the bullpen. 1-2.
One of the unique aspects of this Prairie View A&M team. You alluded to it a little bit earlier.
Anish, I think we're going to see the slider. It's thrown 5 pitches, or 4 pitches, 4 sliders.
Baseball.
How about the 5th one?
Cardinals spoke to the team, and
there it is again. Chang dumps one down the left field line. Humphrey will score. Chang all the way to second with a double, his second RBI, and Ole Miss has tied this game at 5.
This is not an individual sport. This is college bowling. This is team bowling.
Well, have a day, Luke Chang. Slider down. You see he goes out there and golfs, but sometimes you go to the well too much. The hitter has seen it. He knows what to expect, and Luke Chang's hot right now. Got the homer, got a double.
With a spare.
He had 4 RBI coming into today. He's got 2 already.
To apply the pressure, because one thing
it turns the lineup over. Luke Hill batting for the 3rd time.
They've come through in the late frames to win those matches.
That was not a slider.
Got it. For the moment, the max score in favor of Prairie View A&M. Plus 19 in that category for the moment.
Big shot here in the 9th to set up the 10th. She strikes here.
Lance, if you're a hitter, are you sitting on the breaking ball?
It's hard to do that as a hitter, right? I mean, you still have to be able to get to the fastball. But, yeah, in the back of your mind, you got to know that it's predominantly sliders coming.
For Wilson, she can clean it up, though, on her next toss.
Four runs already in.
Did you read her lips catch a break? Because she knew
Sanford on deck.
It definitely wasn't where she wanted it to be. She's not happy with herself, but that's okay.
Outside ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk. And now this will be the first left-handed hitter that Smith faces. And according to the scouting report, he'll throw that slider to lefty hitters.
Left fielder, number 4, Mitchell Sanford.
Wilson for spare.
First and second, 2 outs.
Setup frame here in the 9th. Last time Amani was up, she left the 10th.
There's the breaking ball low. Lance, there is always that danger, that slider down and into a lefty.
High flush.
It's a natural swing for a left-handed hitter. We've seen that a lot over the years.
Especially with the jet stream that we've seen going out to right field, yeah.
Right.
You want to stay away from that happy zone.
Leverage, stays with the shot, gets that left arm out to the side for balance. 10 in the pit. I try to tell bowlers this, and it's so hard because
2-0, 6 straight out of the zone.
The less you do to it, the actual more you do to it.
So
the more you grab it and try, the less you do to it.
Sanford has struck out twice today.
This is Jalen Rogers.
2 balls and a strike.
Good shot.
Knocks it out with a strike.
Hey, we've got ourselves a match here. Strikes out for 192. Great ball change. Look at that.
Lifted into left field. Daniels makes the catch for the final out, but the damage is done. Ole Miss erupts for 4. They've tied this game at 5.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. It's recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, even if you're healthy. Why? If you're 50 or older, you're at 6.4 times greater risk of getting pneumococcal pneumonia. So schedule at vaxassist.com today.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Delicioussment.
The best part of the Sonic Strawberry Mangonada Slush con Tajín is probably the sweet strawberry. The tangy mango. El Tajín. Okay, esto está difícil. Discover the Strawberry Mangonada Slush and many more flavors in the Sonic app.
Hey guys,
If you're losing your hair, you need to hear this. I get it. You've tried hats, strategic combing, or maybe you've considered going straight cue ball. None of those get you what you really want. Hair. More specifically, your hair. Growing naturally out of your head. Like it used to. It's time to actually solve this thing with Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts. And right now, Bosley's giving away an absolutely free information kit, plus a free gift card. All you have to do is scan this code. Seriously, scan it. It works. A shaved head might let you glide through the water like a seal, but you can't emerge and smooth back your mane like a majestic merman. Bosley uses the latest technology to give you your real hair back, and their permanent solution is backed by the Bosley Guarantee. This trendy fedora won't give you that guarantee. So scan the QR code now, get your free information kit and your free gift card. And most importantly, get your real hair back. Permanently. Let's get this done.
For about 2.5 innings, this was shaping up to be maybe a lower scoring game, and then both offenses woke up. Missouri 4 runs in the bottom of the third, and then Lance, Ole Miss, top of the fourth. They get 4 right back.
Yeah, answer back. That's what a good team does. And right now, the way Ole Miss is playing this weekend, you're going to expect that answer back, and it's exactly what they did. And Luke Chang having a day already. 2 RBI, got the homer, got the double. Tied up the ball game.
Your setup reliever to get to the closer in the 9th.
Right.
There is a strike. The first pitch to Pierre Seals, who flied out to center.
I mean, there really is. I mean, it's amazing. Everybody puts, there's so many.
Mason Nichols still out there. Now in his 4th inning of work. Now, Lance, you're a pitcher. You look up at the scoreboard, 1 minute, you're down 5-1, then your offense gets you 4. It's a brand new game. What does that do to you on the mound?
Yeah, it gives you a little new life, right? Rejuvenates you out there knowing, but then this is when you got to, if you're Mason Nichols, you got to go out there and you put up that 0 and just stop the bleeding of the offense and allow, hey, I want my offense to get back out there because they're hot scoring in the last 2 innings.
Are your key players that have a better.
Again, we talked at the beginning of the game. 67th appearance for Mason Nichols. I mean, just a guy that's a veteran out there, and he knows his job is to soak up some innings as well, and you got to give him a lot of credit mentally staying in this ball game.
He's got 8, 9, and then the top of the order in Goldbeck.
Finish.
Goldbeck was the catalyst
A&M.
in that 4-run 3rd inning.
Keeping the Tigers off balance, he gets a big punch out.
In the SWAC.
Top of the order now. Goldbeck, the hitter.
And Jalen Myers.
Strike 1. He doubled to lead off that 3rd inning. Came around to score.
In her first
4 runs in that 3rd inning for Missouri. The big hit, a 3-run home run by Lovich.
At a break, leaves a 3-6-10. I believe she shot at this earlier. One of the things I went during the break, and I spoke to Coach Clark.
Now, Lance, you just came off doing that Tennessee-Alabama series.
Okay.
Where does Ole Miss stack up in the SEC?
I still think it's really early for anybody to know where they stand outside. If you're a team like Tennessee, you know you're good coming in, right? There was a lot of skeptics out there for Ole Miss. Coach Bianco loves it when you start doubting his ball club. He has them playing good baseball, but they go to Arkansas. Arkansas takes the series, but then they come back here. So I still think you got to get to about that halfway point till you start realizing, hey, what do we have as a team? But I mean, there's a lot of talent on this Rebels roster.
We have communicated.
Oh, an adventurous pop fly, and in fair territory, Utermark makes the catch, falling over Cheng.
Kelsey Quinney,
who was just out of concussion protocol a few days ago. That's the final out of the inning. We'll talk to Kerrick Jackson on the other side.
We went with the website nuts.com because nuts and dried fruit and pretzels and trail mix and gummies and espresso beans and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and so much more.com was already taken. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com.
Has your car insurance gone up recently? You're not alone. But did you know that finding a better rate is easier than you think? Compare.com brings car insurance savings to you. Compare your car insurance rates now at compare.com. The whole process takes less than 10 minutes. Drivers can save over $740 a year, and you can check for savings at any time. It's also completely free. So take the wheel and start driving towards savings. Go to compare.com now and start saving today. That's compare.com.
Great shot by Miranda. Again, our lone left.
No, hold on. Use this.
To play the lanes the way she feels. She can. Keeping it in the pocket. She can.
How's that?
Flush.
What's the difference in terms of mentality?
5-5 game. We go to the top of the fifth. And we're joined by Carrick Jackson, head coach for Missouri. Coach, let's start with the offense. How would you assess your team's approach here in this series finale?
Pretty good. I think we've, for the most part, we had a pretty good offensive approach all weekend and been able to put up some runs. We just can't put up any zeros.
Well, speaking of that, Kellen Brink, how do you assess his first ever career start?
I think it was good. I mean, obviously, it was an impromptu deal. He had a stomach thing going on yesterday and wasn't available, and Libert sliced his finger, and we may be able to use him for an inning or so. But for him to be able to get out there and give us 2 innings of zeros, you couldn't ask for much more than that.
Okay, so that was my question. If there was a thought to bring him back out there, I didn't know he had the illness, so gave you basically everything he had, huh?
He did.
Practicing.
Coach, thank you.
Appreciate you guys, MIZ.
New pitcher for Missouri, already their 4th of the game. And it is P.J. Green, right-hander. Friday night went an inning and 2/3, gave up a hit, a run. Control was the problem. 3 walks and a hit batter.
All the time.
Yeah, well, Anish, when you look at those numbers, right? 10 innings, 7 walks. There is control, but looks like he's making the pitch to get out of it to keep that ERA there. A little bit of the opposite. It's 82% fastballs, 90 to 93. And you can see the difference in the starter. Kellen Brink, he set the tone, but the relievers have not come in throwing strikes and getting outs.
Yeah, it happens.
Game 1.
Missouri has been searching for answers with its bullpen pretty much all season.
Doing it well here today.
Mormon, the number 3 hitter, takes low. 1-0. It's a pitching staff. They've had some significant injuries. Got a guy like P.J. Green out there. Pitched last week at LSU, gave up a run in an inning.
Just stays up.
Good shot
Big
right
time
there.
basketball player
Before
in high school.
What you see there?
Get a little bit of movement there at the end, but other than that, she really stays with it. I'm also a firm believer in more toe heel, more of a slide. I just think it's easier to create leverage.
3 balls and a strike to Mormon. This Ole Miss lineup exhibits a ton of patience, especially the top 3. All came into the game with an on-base percentage north of .440.
And that's what you're looking to do because you want longevity.
Mormon drills one deep to left field. Daniels going back. He's on the track. He leaps. It's gone.
Just a little bit wide on the toss. And it's Coach Clark wearing the Redbird.
Rebels take the lead, 6-5.
Yeah, a lot of the patience for the Rebels hitters. Puts himself in a good hitters count, 3-1. This is what you do, boys, at home with a 3-1 fastball. Over the plate, you put a good swing on it.
A little better.
Gets him a home run over the fence. Miss taking the lead.
So in other words, that's where, okay, it's a mental mistake. Missed the 4-pin, but you need to come back. Your team needs to communicate with the hey.
Breaking ball high to Utermark. He's 1 for 2, singled, and then scored on a 3-run double by Humphrey.
You can't have that shot
at the top of the 4th.
Very easy to say sitting here, by the way. You can't have that shot over, right? But you can make your next one better than the last one.
Mobley. Out situation here coming up for Mobley, and look, it's early on in this game, but Prairie View A&M leaves the third open.
Rocketed for a base hit to left field. Second hit for Utermark. And Lance, since Missouri has gone to the bullpen, Ole Miss is teeing off.
Yeah, not many barrels being missed, and that's another advantage hitters count. Utermark gets to 2-0, and you know the fastball's coming because Green started him off with a breaking ball, wasn't able to find the zone, so you think he's going to go back to his bread and butter, and knowing he's got to throw a strike, being able to tee off on that fastball.
Furness came in as a pinch hitter in the fourth for Reuter, promptly doubled, and takes a strike.
Not a chance.
Couldn't quite get the 10-penny.
I think she said, I'm going to get it one time. I mean, I'm not laughing at that. It's kind of cute, though. But she did. She gave it a chance, got it over there. Just
Furness
right
5 for 7 in this series.
Full lead for the Jaguars. Nine for Monty Moore and a makeable spare opportunity on the way.
Yeah, she was way left of target on that one. Trying to get a break, but only left a 5-pin.
Time is called. Cerna visits with Green.
Both teams need to be a little more.
What do you say to PJ Green right here?
You're just trying to calm the freshman down, just slow the pace. A lot of times you always hear these coaches talk about slow heart rates and don't get sped up, and that's exactly what it looks like as he's come out there, about a 3-run bomb and a 2-0 rocket to left field, and now you're sitting at 2-1 going, hey, you're just trying to calm him down just a little.
Think about, you know what? I'm going there. That's it.
Or the Panthers.
Well, the difference was Kellen Brink exited after a season-high 50 pitches, and the bullpen has struggled to get hitters out for Missouri. Ole Miss 7 for 9 since Missouri first went to the bullpen. And now a 3-1 count on Furness. Utermark is at first. Federico is on deck. And then Humphrey, who's got a 3-run double today. Ball 4. So Green has come into the game. He's fallen behind hitters. And Ole Miss, again, with traffic, 2 on, nobody out.
They need to put any pressure on Prairie View. Great shot. Great extension, too. Good shot.
That was important after
Federico hit by a pitch his last time up. He's been on base 20 consecutive games.
In the fourth.
Bunting and foul.
Please watch this. This is a defensive. You square the bunt. You're like, oh, and then the ball's going to hit him. You want to pull back, but there's really no reaction to be able to pull that back because it's going to hit you.
Federico's got 2 sack bunts this season.
The tone for the next half.
Bunts it perfectly. Green gets the put out at first. Sacrifice successful, second and third, and now a decision for Missouri. Humphrey has 11 RBI and 3 home runs in this series. First base is open. Do you even pitch to him?
I think you have to pitch cautiously to him and make him hit your pitch. That's the biggest thing. Not feed him one that he can drive.
Pretty complimentary statement considering the success that Clark enjoyed as a player in the SWAC, 3-time all-conference player.
Inside and low, 1-0.
There's going to be a steady dose of all-speed pitches, change-ups, sliders, and then if the fastball is there, it's going to be away from him, not wanting any ball to get back over that middle.
Good shot. And I'm going to tell you, she got that ball in a little bit. So, again, she moved a little left. This is where her team and her coach need.
There's a strike under the hand.
Just a little bit in 4-pin, which means now a little bit of hold, a little bit of hook. Now you just kind of make those moves.
1-2 with the little high. Green gets the call.
Spare.
Shot foul.
And there's a spare for Rogers. A tight one again in game 4.
Today.
A look at the prize, the 2025 SWAC Bowling Championship, a 2-1 lead held by Prairie View A&M. We have reached the midway point of game 4.
Mormon homered to start the inning. A single by Utermark. A walk to Furness, a sacked bunt, and a big strikeout of Humphrey with runners at second and third. That was the second out.
Very important.
And a 1-1 to Foley. 2-1.
Gives them the early double in the match.
It's kind of been Green this season where he can start a fire, but he can put one out as well. Three and one.
Split opportunity coming up here for Kelsey Quinney.
Pretty good shot off her hand. I'll just talk to Coach Doyle, asked him, hey, same thing. What's going on? And give me something feeling. And he said, the right lane's cameras. And he said,
26th pitch of the inning for Green.
We're going to move right and try to get on top of it. But it's the right lane that's definitely giving us more trouble.
Not close. The bases are loaded for Luke Cheng.
Right down the middle.
That's a fantastic spare.
Lands 27 combined walks and hit batters for this Missouri pitching staff this weekend.
Changes to her spare ball. Puts it
Nish, you said about fires, right? Sooner or later, you play with fire, and that's exactly when you have that many combined walks and HBPs, you're going to get burned. And they're one basically good swing of blowing this game open.
Let's see.
James Vaughn getting loose in the Missouri bullpen. Who's already used 4 pitchers. 2 outs here in the 5th. The 0-1 to Chang, dribbled foul, 0-2.
Not enough of a break, but a very...
Getting a turn at shortstop. Owen Pano, a highly touted freshman from Poughkeepsie, New York.
Get it?
Now struggling a bit to begin his Ole Miss career. Was hitting only 178. And like Bianco saying, hey, Luke Chang has earned it. So he's going to get some opportunities at shortstop. 1-2.
Spare.
And picks it
Lance,
up.
how do you want to see P.J. Green attack with 2 strikes?
So
well, a lot of it's been you got to be able to get the fastball, over the zone. That's what he did against Humphrey. Was spotted that fastball glove side away. There, though, he attacked with the high slider to get the out, but it's a big out.
Chang strands the bases loaded.
Mr. Mormon, homer number 9. Gets Ole Miss the lead, but they left a lot on the traffic.
Organic and dairy-free.
A strike.
Great shot, and she had moved to the right. Definitely.
Here we go. Third time today.
Much better keeping the ball in play, trusting yourself to make that move.
At Sprouts, our shelves are filled with new, exciting, and delicious discoveries. This is that Sprouts feeling.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head? Comb it over? Wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone who scans this QR code. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let them show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Scan the QR code. Don't wait. Scan the code now and ask about the Bosley Guarantee.
It's about
Anish Shroff, Lance Cormier in Knoxville. Lance, and you just saw this team. The juggernaut's not going away anytime soon.
No chance. Tennessee, the #1 ranked team. I mean, the pinnacle of college baseball in the SEC, and we're talking about some of the best SEC baseball has been the last 5 champions, right? So, but man, it was one of those weekends where the starting pitching for the most part for Tennessee, which has been unbelievable, wasn't there until Saturday's game, which was game 3. The freshman duo, Tegan Coons and Braden Crenzel, they were unbelievable. Coons took a perfect game into the 4th. He left with only 1 hit. Justin LeBron, bottom portion of that, is continuing that freshman season he had last year. Continue to roll. He's got 12 home runs. He's got his home run numbers and RBI number already better than last year, and we're just, 20-something games in.
Made the move on the
meanwhile, Tennessee, they started the year, 20-0, and then lost 2 in a row, rebounded by winning the last 2 against Alabama. How does this Tennessee team stack up against the one that was the national champion a year ago?
Yeah, it's hard to say right now just because Gavin Keelan, how about this? I mean, they go to Alabama and win that series. Nice pitch right there by Nichols to get that leadoff guy. He looks stronger than he did at the beginning of the game. But Tennessee goes into Tuscaloosa revenging their only series loss in 2024, and they did that without their best hitter, Gavin Keelan. I mean, you've got a middle lineup, leading home run hitter, hitting 430-something, future first-round pick. He's not even in the lineup. It just shows you how deep they are.
215-203.
It's this whole league, Lance, and you see it, and you do a lot of games in the SEC. And with the addition of Oklahoma and Texas,
there's 2.
It's a gauntlet. And there really aren't a whole lot of easy outs in conference play.
Goes a little bit high, leaves the
No, I mean, big series, Texas versus LSU this year is their first home series in the SEC. They took the series after losing game 1, came back last 2 days to get the win. So you're right, Anish. It's 10 weeks of super regional play every single weekend.
That's
just what it is. I mean, you're seeing, on Friday night, you're seeing a first, second, or third rounder. Saturday, you probably are seeing the same thing. And then Sunday, they roll a young guy out there. He's just a future first, second, or third rounder.
Meanwhile, Nichols, strikeouts of Cerna and Beer to open the 5th. He's got 5 strikeouts. As you take a look at the SEC standings, what surprises you the most? Again, still early in the conference part of the schedule. What has surprised you the most?
Well, I think when you look at surprising the most, it's the 2 teams on the bottom, Florida and Texas A&M. Both teams top 5 to begin the year. They're sitting at 0-6 in the conference. A&M struggles have been hitting. Like Florida, you just don't know yet. They got absolutely pounded the last 2 days, but you open up with #1 Tennessee. You then bring in #4 Georgia, who has been the biggest buzzsaw right now. They actually might have a deeper lineup than Tennessee, maybe the only team in the country that can say that. But you played those 2 teams. Now, I'm not saying it gets easier, but it has to get a little bit easier from facing those 2 teams. But then you give a team like Alabama, Auburn, Ole Miss, who are projected toward the bottom. Ole Miss wins this one. That's those 3 teams sitting at 4-2. But it's just a long ways away, man. It's a long 10 weeks.
Knutson slices this one foul.
You brought something up now the last 2 times, and it's been spot on. That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, it's going to make the SEC tournament probably a mini version of Omaha.
No question. especially now that all 16 teams are going to get a chance to go. You win that weekend, that's tough.
You win that weekend, then you got to wonder, hey, how much does that take out of you?
Shots.
Wilson for spare.
That's why now that both teams are there, right, you're not going to have that double elimination portion of it, I don't believe. And so then you're going to get to the point where the buys are set up to where, hey, your first guys don't have to pitch until later. So it almost sets up the weekend if you're able to get one of those top 4 seeds and set up almost that double buy situation.
By talking with Coach Will, I can see why he thinks the backs are getting tighter.
The 3-2 to Knutson. Wrapped down the left field line. Foul. How about the way Nichols has settled down? His team puts up that crooked spot in the top of the 4th inning. He puts up a 0 in the bottom of the 4th, and now a strike away from back-to-back 1-2-3 innings.
Yeah, and the first Ole Miss pitcher to make it through 5 innings this weekend. That's not what you'd have thought after that 4-run 3rd inning, and it looked like he wasn't missing many barrels.
3-2, lifted to left field.
So right now,
Sanford makes the catch. Nichols has set down 6 in a row. A season high 5 innings in the books for the senior right-hander.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal. And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
And the winner is T-Mobile Home Internet. J.D. Power's #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet.
We just want to thank T-Mobile.
The wrap it up music already? Really?
T-Mobile Home Internet has price lock. They won't raise your rate on internet.
I didn't even get to thank my Gram.
Or tell people that with T-Mobile, there's even a plan with Paramount Plus and Hulu included.
The winner is T-Mobile Home Internet with plans starting at $35 a month with price lock.
Thank you.
Oh,
you did. I know.
Is this yours?
Yeah, man.
No way. Yes, way. Get it.
A spare for Gordon.
There's nothing like that first Mercedes feeling. Experience the feeling yourself at a local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
They can't make any mistakes here.
Mistakes. Double wins.
We remind you, SEC now has you covered for the football pro days this week. 3 hours of coverage each day. Tuesday, it's the Texas Longhorns starting at 2. That defense loaded with NFL prospects, as is the case for their offense. Wednesday, LSU. They've got one of the best offensive line prospects in this year's draft class. And then Friday, Ole Miss at noon Eastern, all on the SEC network. Rebels quarterback Jackson Dart, since the combine, has seen his stock skyrocket. Potentially now a top 10, maybe top 15 pick. Meanwhile, Missouri goes to the bullpen. James Vaughn, the senior right-hander, the 5th pitcher today. And Lance, that is an 80 mustache.
No questions asked. 9th appearance on the year, 8 innings. So he's a 1-inning guy. Like the strikeout to walk ratio. Fastball's up to 92. Cutters, sliders, changeup. It's mostly all-speed pitch. Only 33% fastball in this early part of the season.
And a stash straight from a 1980s baseball card.
Just a little inside.
He'll face the top of this Ole Miss lineup. And a strike over the inside half to Luke Hill. 0 for 2 with a walk.
Spare with one more toss.
Want to transfer from Columbia in the Ivy League. Pitched in 30 games for the Lions and earned a spot on the Ivy League All 2024 All Tournament team last year. Spent his freshman year playing at Duke. He was a baccalaureate speaker at Columbia last year after earning a bachelor's in anthropology. Nice play at third. Basler across the diamond, did not in time, and Hill has himself a leadoff single.
Strike.
And more traffic for Ole Miss.
The 10th frame.
This is a heck of a play, though, by Basler.
Finish out on a
diving backhand, and he gets up, uses the turf. It is too much speed for Luke Hill, beats that throw.
Having the W in Game 4 to take a 3-1 lead here in the SWAC Championship.
Vaughn on Friday
Arlington, Texas,
faced two batters. Did not record an.
She didn't like that shot, obviously. She got the break, went Brooklyn. I don't think they're trusting themselves. And I know that's hard to do, especially when you're in this pressure situation. You're down 3-1. You have to win, right? But if you don't trust yourself and give it a chance, you're trying to make something happen that won't. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So much easier sitting in the booth saying that.
Jalen Myers with a strike in return. This is a Prairie View A&M team that finished 5th in the SWAC and now 1 game away from winning the SWAC. Southern, conversely, out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, founded in 1880. And we talked about the tradition and the history earlier of Prairie View A&M. How about Southern? They've won 7 SWAC titles.
I mean, that's just, it's got to be a record. I'd like to know what the record is. Believe it or not, I didn't think about that, but they've got to be one of the top. I mean, that's hard to do. I mean,
Absolutely.
7, that's hard to do. Just year after year after year after year. So, wow. Trying to play a little bit further right like they did on the right lane. Didn't quite get around that one as much. Left a 2-4-5. She'll change to her spare ball, shoot right at it.
Mentioned the success for Southern. They're looking for their first SWAC title since 2011 in the postseason. A strike and a spare for the Jaguars in Game 5.
At this point, we're looking at clean frames to get the job done, which is what Prairie View did last game.
The junior out of Houston, Miranda Fuentes. Just an awkward landing there from one of the pens and leading for 2 to stand up.
Yeah, she missed way right of target on this one. You can see it right off her hand. That's between both tracers down lane. Tries to catch the Brooklyn. Pin falls away from the pins. She's going to use her strike ball to shoot at the spare.
Fuentes steady again with a spare. Neither side has blinked yet in Game 5. This is a Southern team that went to the limit last year against Alabama State. For the Hornets, ended up prevailing. Now with each, you touched on it a moment ago, with each shot, just feel the pressure mounting here for Southern.
You do, because now you feel you can't make a mistake. You know what I mean? You just can't, because you're down. You have to win this game. But I do think the ball speed, they need a little more ball speed, because the lanes got plenty of hook on them. And where they're trying to play, when they miss left and they're slow, it's going to go through the nose of Brooklyn. So I would either just increase my ball speed or just move the feet just a little bit. And that's just an unforced error. You know, you can't afford to do that right now. So again, we need some communication back there. Team needs to say, hey, let it go. We'll get right back on it.
And now it's Caroline Lewis's turn. To try to put Prairie View here in a good position, up 3-1. Lewis on the approach.
Goes high, leaves a 3-6-10. And I think everybody's feeling the pressure. I mean, they probably were from game one, obviously. But right here, just missing left. You could see that when that ball was right to left off her hand. And when they bowled their best earlier, even yesterday for Prairie View and earlier today for Southern, when they wanted to play straighter in the track area, it was more in front of them. It wasn't right to left. It was more in front of them. Right now on this TV pair, when they go right to left, there is no hold, especially if they're a little slow. Again, hold is created by angle and ball speed. And right now, the bad shots seem to be a little bit too much right to left. And again, for Southern, on that left lane, I would definitely increase the ball speed just a little bit.
Lewis for spare. Gets the roll.
At that. Off her hand, I went, uh-oh. And then to myself, and got a little tap right there at the end. Right here, it looks like it's going to hit the 3-pin right in the face, and boop, little tap.
She didn't even realize
nope.
it.
Look at that. Boop.
She did not realize she had turned her back before that last pin fell. Wow. And she takes a big sigh of relief. So gets some help with the 10 pin, but still needs to pick up 4.
And again, you can see it right off her hand. You know, I'm glad we have that tracer again. You can see it's left. Didn't break up the split. This is fairable, but they're going to need to start making some pretty good shots and put some pressure on Prairie View.
No doubt, because now you're going towards what has been a strength here for Prairie View, especially in this championship series, the 4 and the 5. And Wilson can only collect 2 of the 4 pins. An open frame here in the 4th. As that Prairie View lead could be expanded further here by Amani Moore.
Great shot by Amani. Senior on this team wants that championship. Simple style, great foundation. She wanted this one. Perfect off her hand.
Moore was a part of the 2023 championship team, and that strike helping them take a step closer towards another title.
Shot. Oh, great shot off her hand. They're going to light 7. She needs to make the spare. They are not out of it by all means. 24 pins is nothing. Good shot. Gave this ball a little area. And she's a great lane read for the other ladies on the team.
You bring up a key point there. This is not over.
No.
They still have some work to do.
Oh my God, there's
long way to go.
Yeah. Gosh, 5 frames left. That's a lot. And most of the games have come down the 10th frame.
And Rogers can't get that spare here in the 5th, which will set the stage for Jada Gordon.
Yeah, those are the ones, you know, the single pins. Those are the ones that you really need to stay on to put the pressure on the other team. Give your team a little bit of a, you know, breather, I guess you could say, but plenty of frames left to go.
Not a strike, but a makeable spare coming up here for Gordon. As, again, going back to Southern for a second, they've left the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th open without a mark.
I think one of the keys to the mental training as well that Coach Clark spoke about was making sure that the players are accountable for themselves and to their team. Again, that's something where it goes into, let's talk about it. Let's, you know, we're all there for each other, and I think that's crucial. Clean through 5, 6.
Gordon
5.
picks up the spare, and it's a 3-1 lead for Prairie View A&M Midway through game. Monty Moore.
A good shot. Oh, light. Oh, tickles the 7. Still 1 pin. Keeps the ball online with what she's trying to do. Comes in just a little bit light. Can't ask for any more than that. Just needs to take her time, make the spare. I know that was one thing Coach Clark kept saying, we practice spares all the time. I go, I don't know a team that doesn't.
An important chance here for the Panthers. Oh, just wide. A rare misstep today by Amani Moore. And that gives Southern a prime opportunity to win this game. Jalen Rogers, the anchor.
Strike spare, 170, would force Prairie View to strike out for a tie. That looks like a good shot overhand.
You nailed it, partner.
Telling you, when she gives that ball a little area to the right, she has such a great look to the pocket. One more. All 10. Shuts them out. Spare. Forces Prairie View for all 3 for the tie.
There's a reason you're in the Hall of Fame. And you mentioned earlier.
Every squirrel finds a nut. Trust me.
You said this was not over by any
never.
stretch of the imagination.
My God, you should never give up. Anyway, never. I don't care. I don't care what's happening. There's just always time. Someone can always make a mistake. And again, even if it doesn't work out, you have to learn something for the next time that you're in that situation. Coach Doyle just shaking his head. He's got a headache, probably. High blood pressure.
Here's Rogers again.
Got that ball left. That's all right. Leaves it 3, 6, 9, 10. Again, she'll spare this. Way left of the tracer. She spares this. She forces Prairie View to get all 3. Or I should say, Jada to get all 3.
The SWAC Bowler of the Year awaits for Prairie View A&M. Rogers taking a long glance down the lane.
I agree with the strike ball. Move left. You're going to shoot out to 3, 6, 10. Make sure you take out the 9 with it.
Off to the left.
Well, I didn't expect that at all. So right now, a double and count is the winner.
And it's left up to the SWAC Bowler of the Year.
Double and 7 is a winner by 1.
Gordon's first. 1 to deal with.
Southern sneaks by.
This is a tense
this is crazy.
situation. The spare picked up by Gordon. And now, one more toss.
That's a good picture of both coaches. She's taking a deep breath and he's holding it.
Nobody is comfortable.
Going, okay, what do we do now? Great.
Gordon gets the strike.
Yeah, great shot to finish on.
What has been a dramatic day here in Arlington. We saw that shot towards the tail end of Game 5 of both coaches. If you were just tuning in, you might be wondering who's actually up 3-1. A very tense situation. And a strike off the 7-pin tumbling for Jalen Myers.
Okay, that's the way to start your team out. You want to get this done. Prairie View up 3-2. I am correct on that, right? 3-2. I have to remember, what do we mean? 5th game, 6th game, 7? I lose track. I'm so involved in the polling. What are they doing?
Kelsey Quinney. Picture of consistency for Southern. See if she can make it. 6 for 6.
Looks like a pretty good shot.
And the 10 is left standing.
I like the move she made on the lane. She moved a little bit left. Right there, still one board to the right of that tracer, leaving the flat 10. It's okay, maintain the pocket. He has been sparing for both teams.
It's just enough of it for the spare.
And she's happy.
Well, the moment is not lost on anybody out here. They know what the stakes are.
And again, Southern, your back is against the wall. You're down, you're down 3-2, right? It's not over by all means. We've already discussed that. So each frame is a new try.
Fuentes for 9.
A great shot, leaves a flat 7. And it's been interesting, even when I went in between games and talked to both coaches, they talked more about just, moving a little bit on the lane, but not really about changing balls or, big moves on the lane. It's just been more about moving a little bit right on the right lane, which Coach Doyle thinks has given his team the most trouble. And for Prairie View, it hasn't been anything about that physical. It's about just communication and execution.
Coach Clark looking on. Fuentes with a spare. And how difficult of a shot is that for a lefty? It looks easy, but she put so much torque on the toss originally.
Same thing like a right-hander when they're shooting the 10-pin or the 7-pin, same thing. And she probably feels the same when she's shooting the 7-pin or the 10-pin. Again, it's a straight ball, it's a straight line.
Naomi Smith will need to pick up 2.
Once you get in between those 2 tracers, you can see the ball just go way left. Hoping to carry the Brooklyn. Going to take a few extra seconds to shoot this spare. I don't know if she's going to shoot with it or she's going to shoot it with her spare ball.
Taking her time as she gets set to deliver here in the second frame.
I think Naomi could play the lanes close to where Jaylin is. Just a little bit further left. They have similar games.
So some spares here picked up early by Southern in game 6. Caroline Lewis with an opportunity next. You mentioned earlier about the players coming out of high school getting the opportunities to really compete before they get to college. They come in more advanced.
Oh, absolutely. There are so many opportunities now. I'm giggling saying it because there's just so many. High school bowling is huge. It's still growing across the country, but you have the Storm Youth Championships, you have the Elite Youth Tour, you have the YSMTs, the SATX, you have the Junior Gold Tour, you have the tours out in California. There is an opportunity for every kid in America, no matter where you live.
Lewis competed at a high level in high school and is competing at a high level here with Prairie View A&M delivering a strike.
And I was going to say, because I know she's from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is a great bowling mecca. Look at that. Light hit. Pins had no chance. Clean through 3.
You mentioned earlier, talking about how hard players throw. Do you think there's a tendency sometimes to overthrow in certain situations?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. There's a tendency to grab it, turn it early, miss right, miss hit it, you name it. Absolutely. And you know what? The more you bowl and you become familiar with yourself and your game, you'll know what your tendencies are.
Can't quite get that.
No, but a great hit.
Roll there, but
Yep.
You're right.
Great hit. Great hit. Take her time, make the spare. See, what you want to do now, just control the pocket. Execute, control the pocket, make the spares. What you're doing by executing that way is you're hoping, obviously, the other team will make their mistake. If you do your job, that's all you can ask of yourself. And both coaches have said, they're not looking at ball changes. They're looking more at just moving a little bit on the lane, allowing them to get a little more freedom into that 1-3 pocket. And obviously for a 1 lefty there, it'd be the 1-2.
Drifted left on Mobley. Southern blinks first in game 6.
Those are the ones you have to make. The single pins are, the ones that you should be a little bit closer to. But again, it's nerve-wracking. This is tough.
Moore grabbed 7 pins on her first toss here in game 6.
She didn't seem to quite catch that one. The way she did her last 2 leaves the 1-2-4. This is where the communication becomes so important, especially in this 3-2. You know, you're halfway through already, right? What are you doing? What are you feeling? All right. Makes the spare.
Moore gets the spare. Moore, you go back to game 5, was unable to collect late, and that ultimately helped Southern grab the win. She's able to get the spare.
And it's up to the teammates to kind of calm you down a little bit there and put you in a good frame of mind, you know, and let you know they have your back. I mean, we're in game 6. We know how the lanes are breaking down. I personally like them a little bit more left and in the track area, maybe around the 13-14 area. But right now, they're doing what they think they need to do to control the pocket and fill a frame.
Here is Nyla Wilson. A powerful strike from Wilson in the 4th.
Good comeback shot after the open frame, sets up the anchor bowler. You can tell off her hand from behind. I love that angle. So you could see where the ball actually rolls over down lane. Great setup.
A great pickup after the 9 and 3. As Gordon approaches.
Gets the break, only leaves the 6 pin. She didn't. You see her throw her arm down. They know. I mean, these bowlers know. They're at a different level now. They know. Hey, I didn't throw a good shot. Okay, I got a break. You know. I mean, you don't have to really tell them. They know.
Gordon for spare. No doubt about that one.
Clean through 5. That's what you're looking for.
Jalen Rogers will try to return fire here. As we approach the midway point of game 6. Prairie View with a 3-2 lead in the SWAC championship.
And that's one of the things Coach Doyle said as well. You know, when he gave the keys, it's quality shots. He doesn't want to make anything too complicated. And really, when you're under pressure, and do you know how hard it is to throw 2 shots for like 5 or 6 other people? That's pretty tough, don't you think?
Yes.
You think about it?
Very much so.
It's not really easy to do. So you want to keep your game plan as simple as possible so there's not a lot going on in their brain.
Rogers gets the strike. Rogers, who was pumped up after the way that game 5 ended, ends the 5th frame with a strike. A powerful finish for Southern. More in game 6 in a moment.
Yep.
Let's get you home.
Country roads.
Paying your rent should count for something.
With rent rewards from Rocket Mortgage, your rent counts towards buying a home, helping turn more renters into owners. Get started at rocket.com.
Back in the International Training Center in Arlington, Texas for the 2025 SWAC Bowling Championship. It is Game 6. Prairie View A&M with a 3-2 lead over Southern. Jalen Myers starting off the 6th frame. And Myers leaves 2 available to start the 6th.
You can see that, just simply rotating it a little bit too early, missing a little left. Getting the break, though, 6-10. Concentrate on the spare. They've been clean through 5.
Just missing the 10. Clean no more. Southern begins to stir here with an opportunity now to take advantage of the opening. They have battled their way through, playing earlier today, knocking out the defending SWAC champion, Alabama State.
Elsie has made some good shots here. 3rd 10-pin in a row, I believe. Another good shot, controlling the pocket.
At the very least here to pick up his spare. They get one up on the Panthers in the 6th. And she is able to do it. That will turn things over to Miranda Fuentes. Southpaw delivers. We haven't seen that approach much in terms of a follow-up.
Right. No, as you can see, she's looking down at the foul line. Missed right of target. She's able to give her ball, every time she gives her ball a little room to the left. Again, I think it's minor adjustments. And honestly, at this point, you really don't want to go through the nose, right? Because gives you more of a chance to leave a split, correct? So I would just move her eyes. If she doesn't want to move her feet and her eyes, everybody's got their own adjustments that they're comfortable with. But changes to the spare ball to shoot at it.
Fuentes can only get 1 out of 2.
By the way, and that's the 2-7. Did I say the 3-10? I think I might have because I'm thinking right-handed. Sorry, that was the 2-7 if I did. Gets 1. Opens the door for Southern.
So Prairie View picked up a mark in their first 5 frames. They've left the last 2 open. A big strike from Naomi Smith.
Great shot by Naomi, and if I'm not mistaken, that's 2 great shots by Naomi. She's getting hot right now when they need it the most. Right here, giving that ball a little room. Yes, blows the 5 off the deck.
And that brought a smile, of course, to Smith's face and Barry Doyle's as well. And now the Panthers are in a bit of a jam.
And again, I'll say 20 pins is not a lot.
Especially with the people left to throw for Prairie View.
Correct.
Caroline Lewis with a strike. That's one way to get right back into it.
The way to set up the 9th frame. Aggressive. Keeping her ball speed up, which I think has been crucial for her. Great shot.
Big time delivery there from Caroline Lewis. Setting the stage for Darian Mobley, the junior from Chicago, Illinois. Mobley with a spare attempt on the way.
Just gets it left, but gets a break, leaves the 6-10. I saw Coach Doyle say to her when she came walking back, routine stand.
Here's Mobley. Spare. You can see the relief with many of these players after each toss. And look at the max score here in Game 6. At the moment, favors Southern, 215-205. Monty Moore.
That's a good shot. Great shot by Omani. You could see the rotation on that shot as compared to her last shot. Sets the double up for the 10th.
And the reaction from her teammates in the audience.
Hey, and imagine that, Derek. It's going to go down to the 9th and 10th.
Business as usual. Isla Wilson.
Nyla leaves the 3-6. Rotates down just a little early. You could see she got it left. I could tell. See how she put her hand on her? I love watching these girls bowl all year because you kind of know their mannerisms. It's like she didn't like that one.
An opportunity here to still pick up a spare.
One of the things both coaches mentioned, and I wish I could tell my younger self this, and I tell this to the younger players all the time. You don't have to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect. You have some area out there. You don't have to be perfect. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Spare for Nyla Wilson. And it's time for the 10th frame.
Hey, Derek, it's coming down to the 10th frame.
Shocking.
All right, what do we got going here? Got Prairie View up first, right?
Jada Gordon, the anchor. Tiffany Clark, who has seen success as a player at Alabama A&M and now trying to do the same as a coach here with Prairie View A&M.
Double and 9 is a winner. I got the okay.
Gordon's first. Needs one more for a spare. Looked like that leaned out a little bit.
Just a little. I mean, might have a little adrenaline. It's yeah, a little bit, but still leaving, and I believe she left the 2-pin. I didn't see the end result there.
Spare for Gordon. And another follow-up here in a moment. As Southern tries to force a decisive Game 7. Nine out of 10 there for Gordon.
With a mark in the 10th, Southern will win this game.
So the Panthers end with 183 in Game 6. And that'll leave it up to Jalen Rogers to apply the finishing touches for Southern in Game 6. Barry Doyle knows what needs to be done here in Game 6. Rogers.
It's a little wide, 2-4, 8-10. 2-4, 8-10. It is sparable. It is sparable.
And this is huge. Southern right now at 175. There's Rogers for spare. And that will conclude matters here for this Southern team. Prairie View A&M has won the SWAC championship. What a moment for the Panthers. For the fourth time in 6 years, Prairie View A&M has won the SWAC.